The coffee shop was nearly empty that rainy Tuesday afternoon, but Marcus had chosen the corner table deliberately, far from the windows, far from the door, far from anyone who might try to make conversation. He'd become an expert at isolation over the past 18 months, ever since the accident that took his wife Sarah and left him a hollowed-out version of himself, going through the motions for his 6-year-old daughter Lily. He was staring at his laptop screen without really seeing it when he heard the voice. "Excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother you, but would you mind if I shared this table? Everywhere else seems to be taken." Marcus looked up, ready to politely decline, and found himself face to face with a young woman in a wheelchair. She couldn't have been more than 25, with warm brown eyes that somehow managed to sparkle despite the obvious exhaustion etched around them. Her hands rested on the wheels of her chair, and he noticed the slight tremor in her fingers. The coffee shop was clearly not full. There were at least 3 other empty tables visible from where they sat. Marcus recognized the lie immediately because he'd told versions of it himself, the small fictions people tell when they're desperately lonely but too proud to admit it. Something in her expression, a vulnerability mixed with fierce determination, cracked through his carefully constructed walls. "Of course," he heard himself say, moving his laptop to make room. "Please." Her relief was palpable. "Thank you so much. I'm Emma, by the way." "Marcus." She maneuvered her wheelchair to the table with practiced efficiency, though he noticed how she winced when her coffee cup nearly tipped. He reached out instinctively to steady it, and their eyes met. "Thanks," she said softly. "My hands don't always cooperate. Progressive MS. The doctors say I'm handling it remarkably well, which I think is medical speak for, we're surprised you're not more of a mess." The brutal honesty caught him off guard. Most people danced around their pain. He'd become accustomed to the careful euphemisms everyone used when they talked about Sarah, passed away, in a better place, watching over you. As if softer words could cushion the sharp edges of grief. "My wife died a year and a half ago," he found himself saying. "Car accident. Everyone tells me I'm doing great, but I'm pretty sure that's just code for, at least he's showered today." Emma's laugh burst out before she could stop it, then she covered her mouth, horrified. "Oh God, I'm so sorry. That's not funny." "No, it kind of is," Marcus said, and felt something shift in his chest, the first genuine smile he'd managed in months. "It's refreshing, actually. People tiptoe around me like I'm made of glass." "People do the same to me," Emma said, settling back in her chair. "Ever since I ended up in this chair 8 months ago, everyone treats me like I'm tragic. My boyfriend left 3 weeks after my diagnosis. Said he couldn't handle it. My friends stopped calling because they didn't know what to say. My parents hover so much I moved out just to breathe. But the worst part? Everyone looks at me with pity, like my life is over." Marcus studied her, really looked at her. There was something fierce burning beneath her surface, a refusal to be diminished that he recognized because he'd been systematically extinguishing that same fire in himself. "Is it?" he asked. "Over, I mean?" "Some days it feels like it," she admitted. "I was a dancer. Contemporary ballet was my whole world. I was 3 months away from joining a professional company in New York when I got my diagnosis. The first symptoms came during rehearsal. I couldn't feel my feet properly, kept losing my balance. Within 2 months, I couldn't walk. So yeah, that version of my life is definitely over." "I'm sorry," Marcus said, and meant it. "The thing is," Emma continued, stirring her coffee absently, "I keep waiting to accept it. Everyone says acceptance is the key. But I'm so angry. I'm furious at my body for betraying me, at my boyfriend for abandoning me, at the universe for being so randomly cruel. And then I feel guilty for being angry because other people have it worse, right? At least I'm alive. At least I have my mind. At least. Marcus felt tears pricking his eyes. "I know exactly what you mean. After Sarah died, Everyone kept telling me to be grateful. At least you have Lily, they'd say. At least you have memories. And they're right, I do. But it doesn't make me miss her any less. It doesn't fill the hole where she used to be. Some days I'm so angry at her for leaving me, which is insane because she didn't choose to die. But grief isn't rational. No, Emma agreed quietly. It really isn't. They sat in silence for a moment, the rain drumming steadily against the windows. Around them, the coffee shop hummed with quiet activity, the hiss of the espresso machine, the murmur of conversations, the gentle acoustic music playing overhead. But in their corner, Marcus and Emma had created a small pocket of truth, a space where they didn't have to pretend. "Can I ask you something?" Emma said finally. "And please don't take this the wrong way, but you look almost as exhausted as I feel. When's the last time you actually talked to someone? Really talked, I mean." Marcus had to think about it. "I don't know. Months, maybe? I talked to Lily, of course, but I can't burden her with how I'm really feeling. She's 6. She needs me to be okay. And I have a therapist, but that's different. That's clinical. With everyone else, I just go through the motions." "How are you?" "Fine." "How's work?" "Fine." "Are you managing?" "Oh yes, doing great." It's easier than explaining that most days I'm just trying to figure out how to keep breathing. "That's exhausting," Emma said simply. "It really is." Marcus laughed, but it came out hollow. "What about you?" "I've been isolating," Emma admitted. "I tell myself it's because everyone treats me differently now, but honestly, I think I'm afraid. Afraid of being a burden, afraid of being rejected again, afraid of letting anyone see how much I'm struggling. So I come to coffee shops and pretend to work on my laptop and occasionally guilt-trip strangers into sharing tables with me." "I'm glad you did," Marcus said, surprising himself with how much he meant it. Emma smiled, and it transformed her entire face. "Me too." They talked for 2 hours. Emma told him about her attempts to find new purpose after dancing. She was taking online courses in graphic design, though she admitted she spent more time staring at blank screens than creating anything. Marcus told her about Lily, about how his daughter had become obsessed with drawing pictures of birds because Sarah used to love watching the cardinals in their backyard. "She draws them everywhere," Marcus explained. "On her homework, on napkins, on the condensation on car windows. The school counselor thinks it's her way of processing grief. I think she just misses her mom and doesn't have the words for it yet." "That's beautiful though," Emma said. "That she found a way to remember her mother. Does she talk about her?" "Less and less," Marcus admitted, his voice thick. "And that terrifies me. Sometimes she'll start a sentence with, 'Remember when mommy.' And then she'll stop, like she's not sure if she's allowed to bring it up. I keep telling her it's okay, that we can always talk about mommy, but I can see her withdrawing. Protecting me, maybe. Or protecting herself." "Kids are resilient," Emma offered, then immediately shook her head. "God, I hate that phrase. People kept saying that to me when I was diagnosed, like resilience is just something that happens automatically. But resilience is work. It's choosing to get up every day when you'd rather stay in bed. It's brutal and exhausting and nobody should have to be that resilient." "Exactly," Marcus said emphatically. "Why does everyone act like healing is inevitable? Like time automatically fixes things? It doesn't. Time just moves forward whether you're ready or not." Emma reached across the table, her tremoring hand covering his. "Can I tell you something? The real reason I asked to sit here?" Marcus nodded. "I've been coming to this coffee shop every Tuesday for the past month, and you're always here. Always in this same corner, always alone, always looking like you're carrying the weight of the world. And every week, I'd think about coming over, about saying something, but I'd chicken out. Today, I decided I was tired of being